Hello and welcome to this complete guide to Microsoft Word. This is everything you need to know for your Edexcel, iGCSE, ICT practical exam. In this video, we're going to go through checking your text for spelling, punctuation, and grammar errors, entering, editing, and formatting text. We're going to go through tables, creating tables and editing tables. We're going to go through page layout. We're going to go through integrating objects such as images into single documents. We're going to go through producing reports, memos, newsletters, posters, leaflets, etc. We're going to go through using standard conventions, dear sir, madam, yours sincerely, yours faithfully, etc. And we're going to go through also mail merge. SPG stands for spelling, punctuation and grammar. Now it may be that English isn't your first language. For most people taking iGCSE, ICT, it probably isn't their first language. But you still need to check your spelling, punctuation and grammar. And Word can help you to do that. It's really important that you do that because you're going to lose marks if you hand in work that has spelling errors, punctuation mistakes and grammar errors as well. So we're going to look at Word and we're going to look at how that can help you to overcome these. So in Word, I can see here that underlined in red is a spelling mistake. So if I right click on it, Word gives me suggestions as to what that could be. So I can choose spelling there, it should have been spelling, and it also gives me the meaning there, meaning, bringing, predicting, etc. So I'm going to choose spelling there. Now with grammar errors, they could be underlined in blue here. Here, if I right click on it, it's suggesting that for a more formal approach to writing here, I need to put here is rather than here's a grammar error. So if I'm writing a formal letter or a job application, something like that, it's more important for me to use more formal language. So that was suggesting a more formal way of writing that sentence there. In this section, we're going to look at formatting text. I'm going to show you how to do bullets, numbering, sub-numbering, alignment, tabs, line spacing, color, font size, style, text wrap, text boxes. So the first thing we'll look at is bullet points. So bullet points are fairly easy. I need some text to make into a bullet point and highlight the text there and simply click up here to bullets and I can add a bullet point. I've got a choice of different bullets there. I can add check marks, these kind of chevrons here, kind of clear bullets there, square bullets if I wanted to, these ones. The default is the round circular bullet there, which we'll stick to here. I can also add numbered bullets by choosing the numbered option there. And I can also choose different options there for numbering. There like that. And I can have it in brackets or I can have it Roman numerals or lettered. But I'll just stick with numbers there like that. So that is bullets and that is numbered bullets. I may want a sub-numbered bullet. So I'm going to put a bullet on, I'm going to put a number on there. But I'm going to press tab, the tab key, and move that in. And I might just change that to Roman numerals, or I could have that as a letter there, or lowercase letter there. So that is a sub-numbered bullet. The sub-numbered bullet should be different to the numbered bullet. So for example, this is 1A, so we can differentiate the two. Let's have a look at aligning text and setting up tabs. Now the tab key on your keyboard it's got two arrows on it and it's above the shift key. It's to the left of the keyboard and use it to, if I click here and I press tab, I can move my text wherever I want. Now it may be I want to set up the tabs and I want to tell the computer, tell Word where I want the text to move when I press the tab key. So if I go to view, and I need to see the ruler there. If I click up here, you see I've done there, and then maybe add another one there, another one there. I can set up my tab so it will move to those different points there that I've set up, and you can see it moves to those different points there that I've set up. So I can move my text, align my text using the tab key. Also got, if I go to home, I've got right hand align, center align and left justified there as well. So now we're going to look at line spacing. So here is some text that I've got, and I can choose my line spacing there. I can choose normal or no spacing there. Now, I may want to open up this paragraph body here, and I may want to make my text double spaced. So down here in spacing, I choose double and click OK, and that double spaces the lines. If I want to undo that, I just go to normal, no spacing like that. So remember, click here and choose your line spacing. 1.5 lines double like that. Click OK. And that's double line space. So what that means is, I've got 2 lines there, but there would normally be 3 lines in that space that is taken there. So just highlight that and click no spacing to go back to normal. Font size. Highlight the text and choose your font size like that. You can manually type in a font size there, so if I put in 120, the text goes very big. I can also use these buttons, increase and decrease font size, to go back to normal there. I've also got the option here to choose a different font style if I want to, like that. Font color. Font color is easy to change. I simply choose my color there, and if I want to choose more colors, for example, I can choose that here. So when I choose a specific color, like a dark purple like that, I click OK there, and that changes the font to that color that I've got there, and that's now in a dark purple. Now let's look at text wrap. Now here I've got an image, and I'll just shrink it down a bit, then you can see it a bit better. And I've also got some text, but I want the text to wrap around the image. So I double click on it, wrap text, and I'm going to choose tight, or I can choose square. I can choose different options there. I'm going to go for tight like that. And then if I move that over to the right hand side there, that puts the image to the right hand side of my text, or I could have that to the left hand side of my text, depending on what I want there. And then I can just simply move that heading down there like that. So that is wrapping text around an image. And then finally in this section, insert, and say I wanted some text on there, I can insert a text box there. So the text box could be moved up, and I can place that wherever I want to. So I can place that over my image there if I wanted to, like that. And I could put a label on the image. So that is how to add a text box, and I can add that on top of my image there if I wanted to. So now we're going to talk about tables, and I can insert a table into a document by clicking on Insert and choosing Table. I can choose the number of columns and the number of rows there that I want. Now, I've already created a table here, so I'm going to talk about changing the heading style. So the first thing I can do with my heading there in the top row is to maybe change it to bold. I can also click on Layout here, and I can change the text direction. So I can have it vertically or horizontally aligned to the left or to the right there. I can have it centered there if I want to. If I click back there, I can have it in the center of the page. I can have it in the bottom of the cell there, or to the bottom right, bottom left, or in the middle there. So there's lots of different options there for doing that. I can highlight 2 cells, and I can click on Layout and Merge Cells. I can also split cells like that by choosing the number of columns and the number of rows and clicking OK. I can also add borders to the table. If I go to Table Design, I can choose different border styles there. Thick borders around that there, or maybe no border at all if I wanted to. I can choose the weight of the border there, 0.5 point, and go back and select that there. And just make sure that that is all borders there. And if I want to have a thick border around the edge, I can choose a thicker brush there, and I can paint my border around the edge like that. Okay, so that is how you add borders around the table. like that. I can create my table like that. So just click out of that. Might want to change the color of the cells. I can do that. If I want the heading to be a certain color, I can go to shading. I can choose light gray there if I want, or a different color. I can have a bright color, whatever I want there with shading. And that's pretty much it for tables. One thing I'm going to show you now is how to add headers and footers. It's really important that you know how to do this, because your work's got to come out of the printer. It's got to have your name on it. The easiest way to simply add a footer to the document is to double click at the bottom of the page, and then you can add anything to the footer. So this is the footer of the document, and it's called the footer because, like your foot, it's at the bottom, and at the top, if I want to add something to the header, then just simply double click at the top, and this is the header. And so called because it's like your head, it's at the top there. So that's the header and footer. Please make sure, as I say, many videos, that the work that comes out in the printer in your center has got your name, candidate details and center number on it. It's really important that that happens, otherwise it's not your work. Now, what I want to do now is look at some questions where it's asking me to change the layout of the page to landscape. So if I click on layout and I go to orientation and select landscape, it changes my orientation of my page to landscape. So if I just zoom that out, you can see there. Now what landscape means is it's like a landscape painting. It's orientated like that. So you've got the longer edge at the top and the shorter edge at the bottom. Whereas if I change the orientation to portrait, then you can see that the longer edge is on either side, left and right hand side there, and the shorter edge is on the top and bottom. So that looks more like a portrait, like you might see in a portrait gallery, for example. Mona Lisa is a portrait. So it looks like a portrait. Now, let's look at page breaks. I'll show you a simple way of very quickly inserting a page break. If you hold down the Control key and you press the Enter, you can force a page break very quickly like that, and that is inserting a page break. Control and Enter to insert a page break really quickly. Page numbering. So let's do that in the footer there. Now, may just want to quickly add a page number, so I can select page number there, bottom of the page, and choose where that wants to be in the left, middle or right hand side. So I'm just going to choose that on the right hand side there, and that adds the page number to the document. And that completes page layout. Now we're looking at integrating into a single document charts, tables, images, etc. So to insert an image into a document like that, just simply go to Insert and then choose Pictures, and then browse to this device and browse to the image that you want. In your exam, you're going to be browsing to this device and you'll have a folder full of images that need to be in the document. Once the image is inserted, then we can do different things to it. We can justify it. So we can go on Home, I can Left, I can center it and justify it to that. I can shrink it down like that. And I can also click on the image, go to picture format. I can also crop it down if I want to, which is useful for screenshots to be able to crop that down. Not really much call for artistic effects or anything like that. In the exam, probably the only things we'd need to do is maybe crop it or maybe orientate it to the left or to the right. I can also add insert there. And if I go to Insert and Shapes, I've got these different shapes here, and one thing I can do is add callouts to that, and that's like speech bubbles. So I'm going to speech bubble to that and edit text and put I am a diver, for example, and now my diver is saying that here's a diver. Text from different files will be copied and pasted in. I may want to insert a chart into my document. Again, insert is where we're looking here, and I've got Smart Art there. If I go to chart, I can choose the type of chart I want, like that, and then I can type in the series that I want. I can delete that, make just a simple chart there if I need to. I can also just simply copy and paste graphs in from Excel, and they would look like that, and then I can resize them once they're in there as well. Now, with this thing here, I may want to orientate this. If I right click on that, I can select center back, or right click on this and I can bring this to the front. So it may be that I insert something on top of here, so go to insert and then maybe add a shape, for example, and then I may want to send that to the back. So this kind of works better with shapes. So I've got a shape on top of a shape there, but say I wanted the orange shape in front of the blue, right click on it and bring to front. So I wanted that on top of the orange, right click on it, bring to front. Or I can also choose center back there, and I've got different options there as well. I'm going to choose send to back. If I choose send backwards, that will send it back one space. So if I've got three things on there, it will say send it back just one place. Clicking send to the back sends it right to the back. But clicking bring to the front, I can choose bring forward as well, and that will just bring it forward one place. Now with my shape, I can, if I want to add text to it, I just simply right click on there and add text, and I can add any text I want to that shape. And again, I can justify it the way I want there. Click on paragraph to open that up. And if I wanted that at the top, for example, then I can choose that in this option here. Now, I want to align this text to the top, so I go to shape format here and align text, and I choose top, and that will put that at the top for me there. So let's look at the different documents you might have to make. Now, I'm not going to go through how to make them here, but one thing we might have to do is create a letter. I need to make sure the letter has got the address at the top, it's got the date on there and the recipient name. It also has a salutation there, so dear sir, madam, or dear name. You may have to use a mail merge, which I'm going to go through later to create this document as well. I've also got a report. A report looks something like this. It's got headings in there. The headings are usually bold, and the text is differentiated from the headings. It looks slightly different. The heading is in bold, so that's how we know that's a report. So we've got a newsletter. Newsletter was created using columns. So I'm just going to quickly show you how to do that. I'll just Alt-Tab into Word. So here I'm in Word, and if I go to Layout and Columns, then I can choose how many columns I want. So if I'm writing in 2 columns there, you can see that that places that into 2 columns. And if I go all the way down, then I get to the second column there like that. So that's maybe how you would create a newsletter using columns, maybe 2 or 3 columns there and a heading. Here's something that looks like a poster. That can also be created in Word fairly easily. Setting the background color, maybe making a border, maybe big, bold font. Think about the use of white space there, how much there should be on there, and use of images, make it bold and really stand out. And we've also got a leaflet. Again, you could create that, maybe create a document, perhaps select landscape and create it with 3 columns, and then you could lay out a 3-column, 3-page leaflet there, 2-fold leaflet, so that would fold there and there. And we can also create a fact sheet. So again, this could be created using text boxes, maybe columns, and we've got the kind of different colors there, and the title and headings there as well. We've also got something called a memo. This is a memo here, and it's kind of like an email. Not really used too much these days, because kind of emails have replaced them really, but memo would be a printed document that's given to someone in a pigeonhole or given to them, and it's a message kind of to, from. CC means carbon copy, so that is copied into another person. We can put the date in there, and RE regarding, that is a subject, so what is it about? And underneath that we've got a space for our memo there, and we may have a company name at the top. So now we're going to look at standard conventions in letters. So at the start of the letter, we may write, "Dear Sir, Madam," and at the end of the letter, we need a salutation as well to sign it off, and we always write "Yours faithfully." So if it's "Dear Sir, Madam," it is always "Yours faithfully" at the end. I can put someone's name, "Dear Mr., Mrs., Ms., Doctor," and then their surname. And if I do put their name, it's always "Yours sincerely" at the bottom of the letter, and then I sign it off with my name. I can insert a date and insert a logo. I'll show you how to do that now. So to insert a date, I click on Insert here, and I've got various different options there. And if I go over here, Insert Date and Time, I can choose what I want to put in there. I can insert the time if I want, or I can insert the date in short date format or long date format there. And I can click OK, and that will insert me the date. That is useful in the letter to put today's date, and that will update. I can also insert the time as well if I want to. Inserting a logo. Now that may go in the header at the top, so I double click on the header, Insert and Pictures, and then browse to my logo. Remembering at the end of it to go to the header and footer there and close header and footer at the end. Otherwise I'm just editing the header and footer. Now in this final part of the video, we're going to look at mail merge. Mail merge is a word processing feature that allows you to send personalised letters to several hundred people if you want them to. And why do we do that? Because it's a lot easier than manually writing out "dear" and then the person's name, maybe hundreds, thousands, or even thousands of times. The letter can be personalised and can be made to look like it's personal, but in some ways it kind of lacks the personal touch because it hasn't been written to an individual, it's been written to hundreds of people. But nonetheless, we can create a letter using a database and make it look as if it is, at the very least, it's got that kind of personal touch with someone's name and address on there. But the database has to be up to date for this to work. I'm going to show you how to create a mail merge now. Now I've done many videos on mail merge and I'll link to one of them above. In this video, I'm just going to quickly run through some of the basics of the mail merge. So you need to start with a letter. So I've got my letter here that I want to use. And what I need to do now is go to Mailings and start mail merge. And I'm going to go through the step-by-step mail merge wizard. I'm just going to move this across here so we can see this. Okay. Now, use an existing list. So, okay, I'll just go back and I've written my letter, step 1. Step 2, use the current document. Yep. Step 3, select recipients. Now, what I need to do is edit recipient list. And I need to make sure I'm linked up to my database there. So you'll have an option to choose and to browse to the database that you've got. So if I want to select a different list there, I need to connect to my data source. So I need to browse to the database wherever it's saved and connect to it that way. So you need to have a database to be able to connect to. I'm going to use the one that I've got. And here's my database list there. Click OK. I'm happy with that. Next, write your letter. So what I want to do now is insert an address block. So just go through this, and if it's not right, I can click Match Fields, so I can match up the fields there. So first name there, and put name there. Last name, names. Suffix there, I haven't got. That would be Sir, Madam, Mrs, Ms, etc. Address line 1, house number. Address 2, street, city, postal code, postcode there. And I'm not going to match up the country because I don't think I've got that. Click OK. Now, it doesn't quite look right. I've got Peter Parker there, so just adjust that. I think I'll just take out names and I'll put not matched there and click OK. That's better. So, click OK there. And I've inserted my address block there. Now I need the salutation, so I put a greeting line in there. So I don't want Dear Sir, Madam, I want Dear Name, and I'm going to match the fields to that. Okay, so first name, suffix, I haven't got a suffix, so I'm just going to put OK there. Click OK. Next, preview your letter. Now, it hasn't got the name in, so I'm not particularly happy with that. So I need to go back and maybe just go back to the previous stage and just edit that greeting line there. And just match that up. So I'm going to match fields again. And I'm going to put names back in there. And I'm going to take the last name out because that doesn't seem to work there. So Dear Peter Parker, and I'll go with that. Click OK. So preview your letters. That works. So I might put a space in there like that. Now if I'm not happy with the alignment there, I can highlight it. So I'm going to click on Home and I'm going to select no spacing there. If I'm not happy with the way that I spaced out there, like that. And then I can just go through and check that everything's okay with that. Now it does say Dear Dear there, so I just maybe need to go back and perhaps just check out that Dear, if that's look a bit better. So that looks a bit better to me. So complete the merge. And I would select print there, and I can choose what records to print there if I want to, and click OK. And I choose my printer and I can print off the letters there. But do make sure that you preview them and just double check that they're okay. So a mail merge can also be created using a spreadsheet. Now, I'm not sure in the exam how that's going to work, if you're going to be given a spreadsheet or a database, but it's the same principle. So instead, if I just go back to the beginning and select recipient, go to the next step, select recipients. Instead of browsing to a database, I can also browse to a spreadsheet there as well. So I can open up the spreadsheet there as well if I wanted to. So again, select different res. So make sure you browse to the database that you want to open, and I'm just going to go back to my database there. And that is how to do a mail merge. So, it's been a rather long video, but I have broken it up into different sections. I hope it's been useful to you. If it has been useful to you, please consider liking and subscribing. Please comment down below how you're getting on with the revision. I'm always keen to hear how my subscribers are getting on. It's really nice to kind of correspond to different people and speak to different people. And I always make sure I reply, so please consider liking and subscribing and maybe commenting down below. It'd be great to hear from you. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.